Am I a whole year older than the last time you saw me? I'll never tell. Friends! Hello! Welcome back to Amethyst Craftworks. I'm Samantha. And hello, how are you? I hope you were doing good today. It has maybe been another hot minute since I have recorded a video. And I know that my upload schedule, my videos in general, have kind of been helter-skelter for a good while now. Let's be kind and just put it that way. But last week, I feel like I had a legitimate excuse. Now, some of you knew, and it like touched my soul in ways I cannot even begin to describe to you. But the fact that some of you remembered that last week was my birthday, it just sent me into a whole other realm of happiness, let me tell you. So on this past Friday, the 23rd of February, your girl turned the big 40. I am no longer in my 30s. However, I don't, doesn't, the kind of thing doesn't really faze me. I'm not the type of person, at least now in my older years, it doesn't really bother me. It's not something I really think about. 39 to 40, it is what it is, right? I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to have hit 40. And 40 feels like a big milestone in your life, right? So it's all good. And I had kind of a much needed weekend this past weekend with friends and family, dinner and such kind presents, including this t-shirt that I am wearing. If you recognize a Mr. Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil, he was one of my my birthday presents from Bestie Pums. I love Leon. I'm a big Leon fangirl. But it was wonderful and much needed, and I just took the week off to just kind of be, right? And I know I keep saying, oh, when we're back for videos and my schedule's gonna be better and yada yada, and to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if it's going to be, but I'm gonna do my best. We'll see how it goes, where it takes us, you know. But at least I am here for a Movie Marquee Challenge update today, which is what we are doing here in this video on this Wednesday morning. I've got a movie to pick for March, which I'm very excited about. And I've also got some updates on my actual Movie Marquee blanket project for February. And so, without much further bibble babble here, let's get into the actual update. So, first of all, the Movie Marquee project is a project for the entirety of 2024 that is hosted by me, Bella from Bella's Crochet Gifts, and Heather, the Crochet Witch. The three of us are taking turns each month picking movies, and then everybody, including you, if you want to participate, and I hope that you do, but everybody is basing projects on that movie's poster. Colors, inspo, all that good stuff from the poster of that month. And in February, it was Bella's pick. And Bella picked Down with Love. Now, in my previous update for the Movie Marquee Challenge, I said that I was going to do the moss stitch, the linen stitch. The single crochet, chain one, single crochet, chain one, moss stitch. And then hold on here. There we go. The reference book that I am using for the year, well, for most of the year, we'll say, this book here lists the moss stitch as a completely different stitch. And I couldn't find the actual moss stitch as I know it in this book. And I realized it's in here, and I again didn't didn't find it beforehand, but I did find it previously, and the moss stitch in this book is actually called the woven stitch, I think. And the moss stitch in here, which I did mark, got a little bookmark here, is half double and then slip stitch. And so I thought, well, I'm using this book, and I did say I was going to do the moss stitch out of this book. And so that is what I did on my blanket. I did the moss stitch as it was written in that book, which was half double slip stitch, half double slip stitch, so on and so forth. Now, you may notice some some stitch markers all along here, and that is because my blanket, and let me unfurl it here for you. My blanket is quite long. I think I have said in every single update here so far, my blanket is 210 stitches wide, and I was kind of losing track of stitches. I was losing count. I was trying to make sure the stitch count stayed even because the one end here got a little bit wonky, and I couldn't tell if it was just the stitches kind of pulling in, because I tend to slip stitch quite tightly, so I thought maybe that was it. So I just put every 10 stitches a stitch marker, just to make sure my count was still correct, because I don't want to start this blanket off with an offset of stitches, right? But I did complete all the stitches for February, as well as the end here with some black. I'll show it up to you. You can see the color stripes. I went from light to dark, so we've got white, yellow, hot pink, green, navy, purple, and then the black to cap it off. And even though this isn't the moss stitch how I know the moss stitch, it kind of gave me the same sort of look that I was going for, in that it's a small set of stitches, but it's still quite pretty, and it's also quite nicely textured. I don't know if you can tell, but half doubles and then slip stitches in between them makes for quite a nice texture. And so it's a small, in comparison to January's, stripe across my blanket, but I really like it, and I love the way these colors are all turning out. Oh man, it looks pretty awesome. And so yeah, that was February's pick, February's work. It is all done, all the ends are woven in, except for, again, the black here at the end where I ended, and then the black where I completely started, just so I can kind of keep track easier of which way is up and which way is right way round, and so on and so forth, right? But yeah, that is the Movie Marquee Challenge complete for February. Let's take a pause here to just hydrate out of our custom Amethyst Craftworks mug, which, gosh, that just makes the water taste so much better. Anyway, the other thing that we are doing here today is picking a movie for March. Now, Heather picked in January, Bella picked in February, and it is now my turn to pick. I will say, while I'm sort of gathering things here and whatnot, my 4 movies for the year, for 2024, are all new. They all came out in 2023, so last year. I picked 4 movies from my sort of favorites out of the ones that I saw last year. Ones from franchises I really like, ones that I just fangirled over like I can't even tell you. And I'm so stoked to see what my March pick is. Just like I'm sure you are as well, right? I do have my yarn bowl here. It is the same yarn bowl that was customized for me by my sister, essentially, Alex. This is going to be my vessel for movie picks, just like it was last year. But here's hoping that my little pieces of graph paper this time don't actually get lost. We'll see. But they are going in there. There's 4 of them. They are quite a bit bigger than my little cat-shaped Post-it notes. But we're just gonna mix them up kind of as best I can here, really. Mix them up. And then I'm going to this one. I think this one. This one is calling to me. This one is going to be... How do I... Hold on. Get those there. Oh, you can't... Whatever, anyway. This is the one that was calling to me, okay? So I'm trying very hard not to look. I'm going to show it up to you, and then I will, of course, react, you know. We'll give you a first peek on the movies. I think there's one, I'll say. There's one in this set of movies that I think is quite a surprise. So let's just do it. Ready? Okay? So in 3, 2, 1, here's hoping you can read my chicken scratch. What is it? Oh! So, in case you maybe cannot read my chicken scratch, that says Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh man, that's pretty dang good. I will put the poster up over there so you can see it. Oh, that is so good. Oh, it is so good for so many reasons, which I will get into here in a moment that I'm just, like, realizing. But yay! Five Nights at Freddy's. I 100%, I'm not even going to try to lie to you, I am a big nerd for Five Nights at Freddy's. If you are unfamiliar with the movie, if you are unfamiliar with the games that the movie is based on, if you are unfamiliar with the books and just the insane lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, it is more than just a jump scare game of robots and stuff. Let me just say that. I would say I'm a pretty good lore buff when it comes to Five Nights at Freddy's. It is one of those games that I have watched a countless hours of people playing. I will say I've never played it myself because I am far too jumpy and far too like nervous for jump scare games, but it is one of my absolute favorites to watch. I have watched Markiplier's entire Five Nights at Freddy's playthrough from 1 all the way up to Security Breach. I have watched, I can't even tell you how many times over the years. It is one of my favorite franchises. And the movie, I'm like I will not spoil anything for you. The movie was fun. And if you separate the movie from the games, from the books, from all of that information, then the movie is quite fun. And, you know, I love the animatronics in FNAF, and so it was fun to see them actually, like, move and stuff, because in the games, they don't really move a whole lot, at least the original ones, but that is neither here nor there. What is actually important now is colors and yarn and stitch patterns. And so let me go raid my stash. Let me go see what I've got, and then I will come back and we will chit-chat about my yarn choices for the month of March. Hold on. So now that I'm back, let's put my yarn bowl with the remaining 3 movies back over here where it belongs, underneath Morticia. And there we go. And I've grabbed my Movie Marquee Challenge project bag, and I've got some colors in here. Now, the movie poster, which I will put back up over there, it is themed in purple. It's very much a wash of purple. But there are some colors in there if you look closely enough. And I'm going in sort of a abstract route. Well, maybe not abstract necessarily. It's very much not abstract. Let me word it a bit better. I'm going in a non-direct way from the movie poster. Let me explain to you. So I picked, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8 colors, and I'm going to be doing, I think, 10 rows, which I will get into. But let me pull out the first 2 colors here. We've got yellow and orange. Now, these colors are in the poster. If you look pretty close, you can see them. But these colors represent Chica, who is the chicken animatronic. She is yellow with an orange beak. And so this is kind of the way that I'm going to represent Five Nights at Freddy's in my Movie Marquee Challenge blanket. Not so much pulling colors from the poster itself, but using colors that are representative of the characters, right? So we've got Chica, and then we've got Bonnie, who is the bunny. He's mostly purple. He's kind of a couple of shades of purple, like a light purple and a sort of medium purple. So we've got purple, and then his eyes and his guitar are red. So this is Bonnie. I told you I'm a little bit of a FNAF nerd, right? So then we've got gold and brown. This is my good old Karen Simply Soft in gold, and then a brown. And these are for Freddy Fazbear himself. The gold, if you know, you know, gold when it comes to Freddy. Let me just say. But those are for Freddy Fazbear. And then, my favorite of the animatronics. Well, my favorite of the core 4, the original 4 animatronics from the first game, is Foxy. My actual favorite is Mangle, but we digress, right? So this is Foxy. He is sort of a reddish brown. He's more red than brown, and this was kind of as close as I could get. And then he's a pirate. He's got a pirate hook on his hand, so it's silver. So we've got gray and a sort of reddish brown for Foxy. And those are the 8 colors of the animatronics. And then, again, if you know, you know, I'm going to do 1 extra round of purple and 1 extra round of gold at the very end, at the very top. And if you are familiar with the FNAF lore, then you know who this represents, especially that purple. It's not quite the correct purple, but it's purple. And again, I'm trying not to spoil anything here, but the gold also represents a certain someone from the franchise, from the books, from the movie, from the games, so on and so forth. And so these are my colors. It is mostly big twist value. I do have the Karen Simply Soft, and I've got a red heart. This one is a red heart for the red for Bonnie. And I've got an impeccable from Loops and Threads for Michaels. But most of my yarns are big twist value from Joann's. And I actually brought in here because I have mentioned several times throughout the course of the Movie Marquee shenanigans here on my channel, whether it was the first year, last year, or this year, then I'm trying to use up scraps of yarn. Now this is my box of flippity floppity skeins, right? All of the skeins that are in this box are like this. This just happens to be a red heart again. Partially used, but like too big to like ball up in a scrap ball. They're all just kind of thrown in here. I've got a red heart on top. There's a Craft Smart value, more Big Twist value. I've got just like the floppiest of skeins that are in here. Even ones that don't even have a label on them anymore. But I do know they are all 4-weights. They are all acrylic. And these are what I'm trying to pull my colors from. This actually might work for Bonnie too. No, we'll stick with the grape from Big Twist value. But anyway, these are what I'm trying to use up for this project, as well as other things. I mean, of course, I'm using them for other things, but this is the big box of floppy skeins that I've got to work with. And this is my Movie Marquee challenge box. In fact, this has been my Movie Marquee challenge box for the past 3 years, doing this challenge. Current year, last year, and then the first year, right? Because I way overbought Big Twist value from Joann's, and it just sort of snowballed into just a big old box of flippity floppity skeins of yarn. And so these are the colors that I am still endeavoring to use, which is why all of my choices for this year and last year and even the year before have all been quite floppy skeins and scrappy balls, and you know the drill, right? But yes, now that we have gone over my colors, I haven't really decided on a stitch pattern yet. I will really likely show you that when I've got an actual update, when I've got some stitches on my blanket here for March. But I think that's everything. I think so. Do you approve of my movie choice? I feel like this is probably quite a niche movie. Maybe it's not. It was a horror movie. It was a good movie. It does have Matthew Lillard in it, who ever since I saw him in Scream, I have just had the biggest crush on him. And again, without spoiling anything, it also fed a good portion of my Matthew Lillard fangirl heart watching Five Nights at Freddy's. It was fun, I will say. It's not the most lore accurate, but movies tend to not be. You just kind of have to separate them from the thing they are based on, right? That's sort of how you have to look at it. But anyway, I think I was trying to say goodbye to you, because that's really all I've got for you now. A movie pick, some yarn colors, and a completed February section of my blanket. I appreciate you watching here today. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. And until I see you again, until I do have an actual other video up, I will just let you go. Take care. Goodbye.